The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer of the sports talk and a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinsky as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversations going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get in. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer of sports talk and a whole lot more for this 20th day of November 2024. Today's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420SEAT for those stocking stuffers this holiday season over at SeatGeek.com and save about $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we're part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all the great articles and other podcasts. But most importantly, right now, we are joined by the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the fan in the van, Jim Plotner. Jim, how you doing? And how's your days off been going, my friend?
Other than work bullshit, I've been doing pretty much nothing. A couple of TikTok videos here and there. You know, I put out a new episode today. TikTok's really annoying, though. Like, I did one yesterday, and it shows glimpses of a cigar in it, and immediately it's under review. Like, as soon as I upload it, I can't share it. It's under review, and it's like, okay, so I'm scrolling through. Here's a TikTok video, somebody smoking a cigar. Here's one smoking a cigar. One got removed, and it's a picture of a cigar. I'm like, is it just me that they're against, or is this like, I don't get it with TikTok, but...
Well, Jim, you are a national security threat, I guess, is one of those things. You're one of those, you never know how things are going to be taken with some of your takes, everything else. I've been listening to a lot of your guys' stuff. The you and E-Man Cigar and Sports from the other night was quite entertaining. I got a few kicks out of that one for sure. Let's get right into it here, Jim. Were you one of the 38 million people who were dumb enough to sit through that steaming pile of crap that was the Paul Tyson fight on Friday night?
I passed out in the first match after the guy dry humps the other one in the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. I fell asleep. I woke up to it being frozen. I managed to I got it. I signed out, signed back in, and then finally got to watch it. And within 10 minutes, I already knew what this was going to be. Rigged bullshit. It was going to go the full 8 rounds, whatever it is. You knew Jake Paul was winning. Between the production, the product in the ring, other than the women's bout, everything else around it was pure trash. Like, I don't get how you're a female boxer, throws the most punches. Your opponent loses points, throws illegal headbutts, but she wins and you lose. I don't get how you do judging in boxing nowadays, but back when Tyson was in his prime, it was judged a bit differently. Serrano should have won that one, but Netflix, and we're going to have the NFL on Netflix, and they couldn't even handle having a Jake Paul Tyson bout with all the buffering, and you're going to, nah, I don't want the NFL on Netflix.
The whole thing was just put together like Netflix got in over their head, and like you said, the NFL thing. I think they're in for a big pile of hurt when it comes to that, because you're going to have twice as many people trying to watch that. I think it's on Black Friday. If I correct me if I'm wrong, but the thing that got me was even when they had Holyfield and Lennox Lewis in between a couple of the fights, they're trying to interview him, and they couldn't even get Holyfield's earbuds to work. And then when Jerry Jones on a little bit later on, they couldn't get that to work. That should have been a sign. And I'm the same as you. We were making sure, okay, with it was buffering, so we thought, okay, it must be us. We got a few TVs and computers and wireless and whatever going on, and then it happened again, and I was so, because I don't have any patience for this shit. Like, I'm not the biggest Netflix person to begin with. I'm an old school cable TV guy. If it's on, great. I don't like hunting through, but I took the time because it was on. It was free. Thank God it was free. If I would have had to pay a cent for that, there would have been my cable bill, my whatever. I'm not paying for this. You're like the mess that they would have had if they would have had to have people paying for that. And like, maybe it was like, I should have known better that Tyson probably wasn't going to win because he's 58 years old. But the 20-year-old Brent kind of came out, was thinking maybe he'll get a couple in here. And I thought that he had some chances to land a couple, but we should have known, or I should have known. I don't know what your thoughts. I want to hear about it. My thoughts were that anything, like looking back, anything that this Jake Paul's involved in is going to be pro Jake Paul. He's going to get the purse because he had more to lose, right? Like if he loses, that's it for him. He's got no more fights coming up. Tyson, this was it for him no matter what. Like I should have known. I should have put 20-year-old Brent in the past and left him in the past and think, no, this thing's going to be rigged no matter what. What were your thoughts on that?
Pretty much the same thing. I mean, we all wanted to see Tyson knock this guy out because Jake Paul, other than when he fought Tom Fury, who's actually a legitimate boxer and lost, look at who this guy has boxed. He boxed Nate Robinson. Well, okay, he played basketball. Look at who he boxed after that, and after that, and after that. And you dubbed it the biggest boxing match in boxing history, but it's present versus past. And you just knew Tyson went in there just to set his kids up for life. Like, he took that $20 million. He went in there and he took some shots. He went to 8 rounds. He set his kids up for life. I'll give him credit for that. But, I mean, we all knew. Anybody with common sense knew that this was all going Jake Paul's way. I mean, because that's just the way it goes. Look at when his brother boxed Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather knocks his brother out in the second round, but he's holding him up going, no, we're going to full 8 because we got to make the money. Like, come on. Like,
no, that whole thing, and like boxing has been out of the mainstream for quite some time, and I had high hopes because I'm a boxing guy from way back. You remember back in the late '80s, early '90s, all those great fights that happened. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard, and remember, like all that stuff, like way back, right? And I had high hopes that maybe this mainstream guy, this Jake Paul, might bring boxing out. But I think the women's fight was fantastic. And like you said, the decision went the wrong way. That thing stunk to high hell too. But I had high hopes that just maybe that the like you said, the TikTok generation may have caught on to boxing if it would have done anything. And it actually probably set boxing back another 10 years because that's how bad a production it was. It was awful.
Yeah, it's just bad because, I mean, you look at these guys that actually are legitimate boxers now, like these Tank Davises and Deontay Wilders and, you know, like Ryan Garcia when he's actually sober. And these guys are actually real boxers that fight real boxers. And then you have this YouTuber and his brother who box nobody. Like, if you put Ryan Garcia in the ring with Jake Paul, he's getting lit up. Ryan Garcia is not going to hold back. Tyson did. And if you watch the clips of it, you could tell he had Paul in each round. He had him at a point where he could have just went 20-year-old Tyson real quick.
Oh, yeah.
On the jaw, and you could see he's like this, and then he kind of just pulls it back and it lets Jake hit him. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I can't even sit to it.
Yeah, I'm glad it was just 8 2-minute rounds. It wasn't anything longer than that because it was. And I didn't. I mean, this isn't a shot against her, but I didn't even know that Rosie Perez was still alive. Not a clue. Like, I didn't have a clue. I haven't seen her since that Nicolas Cage movie. What the fuck was that? What the hell was it? Who was in that one? Was it Meg Ryan or it doesn't matter? Nicolas Cage won the lottery and gave Rosie Perez half the money. Whatever that. Yeah, I didn't know she was alive still. I had no idea. No idea.
And that's the other joke to it as well. Like, you had the one guy, I forget who it was, who actually was a boxer,
Roy Jones.
And then you got Roy Jones Jr., and then you have Rosie Perez, who the only boxing she knows is boxing shit up, rapping it, and giving it out at Christmas time.
That's it.
And like, what do you know about boxing? I understand the whole, because Mike Tyson's from Brooklyn, so you want that Brooklyn theme for it. But you want somebody from Brooklyn, get somebody who boxed, who is also from Brooklyn. Even if it's just a freaking trainer, some Joe Schmo we don't know off the street that at least could talk boxing. She's up there talking God knows what. I mean, it just, the whole product around, other than the women's match, again, was just, it was garbage. It was garbage. I would have rather sat through a rom-com on a date with some girl in the movie theater than sit through this shit. Like
how to lose a guy in 10 days. I could see Jimmy. I could see you sitting down with a box of cookies and some Kleenex and watching that, Jim. Hey, that's right up your alley, isn't it? Hey, reminiscing about love lost. Oh yeah, Kate Hudson. I guarantee you watched that one all by yourself on a Friday night.
No, not by myself. Never, no. No, but I have watched it, though. I will admit I have watched it. Just not
I watched
alone.
it once. It was not alone either. No, I had some different intentions when I was watching that one. There was some hidden agenda in Brent Redlinski's world back 25 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah, one of those things. Let's move on. Let's get away from this team and pile of crap. And the thing is, you know what? I haven't heard one person who has one good thing to say about that. Like Netflix struck out Jake Paul. So I think Jake Paul did himself a disservice, hurt his reputation. Not that it was a great one. People aren't going to watch that crap anymore, and I believe that. They're like, you know what? This was shit. I'm not doing it ever again, especially on a Friday night. Like I do it on a Wednesday. All right, I might watch it, but fuck that. No way. It was not one person that had one good thing to say about that whole thing.
All I know is Netflix better get it together because the Steelers play the Chiefs on Christmas Day on Netflix, and if I got to deal with buffering, the amount of screaming and cursing I already do will be raised another level times 100 because I'll call Netflix. I don't care. I'll be like, listen, you're refunding me for 3 months for this. I don't give a shit.
No, it's all this streaming and crap and stuff you got to do just to watch your team fucking play now. I hate it. I hate it. Like just like up here, like just to watch hockey games. Now you got to have this and you got to have that, and you can't watch this one because it's blacked out here. I can't go to the fucking game. I can't drive to Winnipeg and go to a game. So why can't I watch this stupid thing? I do not understand it. I will never understand why these leagues think they're, and I saw that baseball might do a little bit something different, that they're going to try to get some different things going. Let's just talk about that. And then basketball, they were built. I saw who's that bald-headed chicken fucker commissioner.
Adam
Silver. Adam. He was basketball because the ratings are down. Well, one thing, you can't watch it. The product stinks. Players don't play back-to-back, so you don't know who's playing night to night. And once again, the product stinks, and the product stinks. And then he tries to say, well, the ratings are down because we just went through an election. And then we had this, and then we had this. No, nobody's watching because they can't watch it, and the product stinks. It's that simple. It's like I've put in a legitimate effort every year to watch basketball, and I just can't.
No, you're losing the older generation that likes basketball because this new generation of basketball is, for a better lack of term, it's soft as shit.
Yeah.
It's not the basketball that we grew up on watching, like Bill Lambier throw elbows and no foul get called. All I'm seeing now is a bunch of star athletes running up and down the court, and they're arguing with the refs like they're arguing with their wives more than they're actually dribbling and shooting a ball. Like, I don't want to sit through that.
I can't get over these contracts these guys get, because these guys are all getting like double-digit millions, right? Like they're getting 15, 20 million, 30, 40 million bucks a year, and they can't play back-to-back nights. Like this, I don't understand that for the life of me, how these guys get away with it. Because only one team, you could go through, like, I don't know who's doing well in the NBA, and I don't give a shit. But you're telling me that all these teams have a chance of winning a championship? No, they don't. They don't. So why these owners aren't making these fucking guys play? I have no idea. I don't have any clue.
I know there's rules in place with load management where guys can't sit out on marquee matchups or they get fined for it, and then the guys still do it anyway. So like Joel Embiid, let's say it's Christmas Day and it's 76ers Knicks, and if he chooses to sit out, he'll pay the fine. So it's like
he's got 180 million in the bank. What's he give a shit?
Yeah, I don't get. I remember when Jordan was playing back-to-backs: Pippen, Ewing, Starks, Oakley, Isaiah Thomas, James Worthy. I mean, the list goes on. Those guys are playing back-to-back, sometimes three nights in a row. They would play, and now it's like, oh, I played Monday. I don't play till Thursday. Like,
I don't understand this new, and hockey does it with goaltenders a lot too. Like this term back to back, how it became such a thing in the last 5 years. 5 years. All of a sudden, no, I'm good. On load management, I'm good. Like I'm just not. We have a chance of winning. No, you don't. If you don't play now, like you lose that edge, you lose and what's it saying to your teammates if you're not going to go out there night in, night out and go to, I don't want to use the word war lately, but if you're not going to go and battle every night, you're going to have a guy's back in fucking April? Probably not.
No. I mean, you look and like people say baseball doesn't, and I go no, because you have guys that'll literally play as long as they stay healthy. They'll play a full season. Like, they won't take a game off. And then there's guys that play 3/4 of the season. And that's because whether it's a double header and you got to give him a break in between, maybe he'll DH. But it's real. Basketball is really where it's the worst with this. Like, oh, nope. Again, I played Monday. Nope. Can't play me till Wednesday, Thursday. Like,
speaking of baseball, Jim, our Yankees came up on the short end of the stick. Almost a month ago now. How it all turned out, but now the obviously the latest and greatest news across the world of baseball isn't even the Hall of Fame. We'll talk about that later on a little bit. But the Soto sweepstakes are hot and heavy, and everybody's having these great meetings with Soto, and nobody's recorded a bad meeting with Soto. Of course, we're not going to say it was a really shitty meeting. We went to California, met with him. Well, it was great. It was a great. The Red Sox had a great meeting. He ain't going to Boston. He's just not.
No.
Of course, me and you were thinking that, but all these great meetings he's having, I don't know how much I would meet with this guy if I was the Yankees and Steinbrenner. He's already been there for a year. He knows what they got. Here's what we can offer you. Go on your little tour and come back and see what a counter offer is, and that's it. I wouldn't be sucking this guy off for like what all these teams are doing for nothing. I wouldn't. I personally don't know what. We're going to make you rich beyond what you ever thought you would be wherever you came from. You never thought you would have been making this much money. You're an employee of the team. I'm not kissing your ass more than once. Yeah. And if I'm the Yankees, I'm not kissing this guy's ass at all. We gave you everything you could possibly want this season. You hit behind the best hitter in Yankees history. You got this. And you're not a great defender. They didn't call him out. We're going to pay you more than our best player. Here's what we got. That's it. After that, I'd be like, okay, whatever. It'd be like going back to get an ex-girlfriend. You put in one last-ditch effort, and then that's it. See you later.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because you do need a guy like that in your lineup.
Of course.
But the other question is, and it's kind of already been answered, because according to him and Boris, he's willing to defer money. But the question is, if he's going to defer the money and it's this lengthy deal that I keep reading all these numbers, I'm hearing there's an opt-out in this year, opt-out in another year. And like there's like multiple opt-outs. Like, listen, if you're going to sign for 13 years and you're going to get Ohtani money, I'm not letting you opt out.
No, after 10 on my option.
Yeah. Like I would put it year 10, the team could opt out.
Yeah.
Not the team, because at that point you'll be declining, and then you're still going to get your money anyway, but you're not going to hurt the team as far as being on the field or swinging a bat. So I just don't see, though, in a world where you pay him more than you're paying Judge, when Judge was the better of two evils. To be honest, I mean,
Judge is he's a better defender, hits for power better, face the franchise, team captain, and on it goes. I don't think you can possibly, for the first 2 years of the contract, maybe, okay, we'll prorate it, we'll have it at this, but I'm not paying you more than we're paying our best player. I know he's younger by 6-7 years. I get it. I'm not paying you more than we're paying him.
No.
We lost with you, we'll lose without you. Fuck off.
I mean, you could take
I want him on the team. He's one of the best players in baseball. There's no getting by that. But at that price, and then to be holding these guys hostage, like we're into December in a week and a half now. Ho, Merry fucking Christmas. I'm not kissing this guy's ass for more than I already have. Apparently they had a meeting. It was a great meeting in Steinbrenner, but I'm not. Because they have some other problems that they got to try to figure out. One guy, especially in baseball, football, we'll get into that a little bit too. One guy does not a team make. It doesn't. Like I said, they lost with him, they'll lose without him.
If I'm Hal, I would sit there and say, this is our best offer. You take it or leave it. All right, you leave it. There's going to be Yankees fans mad that he's not making the effort, but you could take that money and fill in his production at first base, left field, third base, second base if they don't offer Glaber anything. And you could retool and fix the team that way. And you could do it and then you could do it that way. You don't have to pay one guy, because after you pay this guy, and even if he defers the money, knowing how, he's going to be like, all right, we're done spending.
There's still money we don't have, right? Like it's just you still have to put some away. Like I know the Yankees print money and everything else, but it's like, do you want to get in a bidding war with the guy across the street out in Queens with the Mets? Probably not, because you're going to lose.
No, and I'll be honest, let them have him, because they're not going to win with him. They didn't win without him, and they've had better teams, and they're not going to win with him. Because the Mets somehow are going to find a way to shit the bed at some point every season, because that's what they do. So
the Mets.
So let the Mets have them, and Yankees fans will sit there and say, "I'm crazy for saying it," but let them have them. Let them have them. We have more than one position we have to fill.
Exactly.
And the way the Yankees operate, and we've seen it, is if you want to believe that Hal's going to go into a bidding war with Steve Cohen, this is just another year he's blowing smoke up your ass. I'm not buying it this time. I bought it last year, the year before that, and the year before that, and the decade before that. I'm not buying it no more. I don't believe he's going to do it. I think he's going to say, we're going to give you 13 years, 600, whatever, and he'll probably cave to whatever opt-out he wants.
13 at 46 is $598 million. Quick math for you there on a Wednesday night, Jimmy. There it is. It's that's all I go. 46, yeah. And if he can defer it to fill the other holes, like you said, that's all I would do. I'm just not. Because you can get three pretty good ball players for $45 million a year. Because obviously LeMay, he's not coming back, so you kind of got to eat that money, because there's some money they got to eat because they got guys who are hurt and everything else. But you get rid of Verdugo. If Soto's gone, whatever he was making, you still need someone to play first base. You still need someone to play second base, like you said. Man, oh man! Okay, do you move Chisholm over to second, and then get a third baseman? Do you do something like that? Could you add another arm? Probably. Like for $45 million, you could fill in 3 or 4 holes pretty quick. Pretty quick.
You could go and get Pete Alonso. He's a free agent. You could sign him for 5 years, $150. You could bring in Alex Bregman from the Astros at 3 years and say $120. I don't want to see an Astro on my team, but if it's going to help us win a World Series minus cheating, I'll take it.
Well, Aaron from Brutally Honest grace us with his presence here. Aaron, well, get to you right now. How you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, good. Sorry, just got here, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. You're out back smoking dope or something, whatever. It's one of those things.
Have to nowadays,
right? Aaron, we were just talking about the Soto sweepstakes, obviously, and the Yankees are there, and I know you're not a Yankees guy. I personally said that I would kiss his ass for a week. Like, you break up your ex-girlfriend, you try to get her back. Here's this, here's that. Buy her some flowers. I'm not chasing you. I'm not. Here's what it is. You were here for a year. You did this. You did that. Good enough. Here's $46 million a year for 13 years. We're not paying you more than our best player. If you don't like it, fuck off. What if you were in the position with the Phillies? If you had a guy like Soto, obviously you want him on your team. I'm not saying I wouldn't want him to be a New York Yankee for life, but at what point do you say thanks, bye, see ya?
I mean, yeah, kind of to what you said, right? It's. I mean, do you go past the point of do you just give them him an offer that is unreal? Like, you don't want to break the entire budget, right? Like, everybody keeps talking about how the Mets will just kind of spend as much as, they will just spend as much as humanly possible to get him. I don't know if that's necessarily the right move. I mean, I know they're trying to get a guy that's, you can market Juan Soto and everything else, but if you're the Yankees and you say, hey, I'm going to go at $46 million and not a penny further, don't go a penny further. It's not like if you don't get him that you give yourself no chance to win. That's what I think people, some fans are just like, oh, we you'd need Juan Soto. Like, he's only one of 9 position players. Like, yeah, he's, up there with Ted Williams with the on base percentage and stuff like that. But, I mean, yeah, he's a hell of a player, but it's like if you go out and get Bregman, you go out and get a starting pitcher or two, like the Yankees were in the World Series this year. It's not like – I know he's a big part of that, but it's – I don't know. That this whole, like, let's just go balls to the walls for just Soto, it's like I don't know if that's the right way to do it unless you just have so much money, you'll just go get somebody else too. Like the Mets might keep Alonso and get Soto. Like I don't know what they're gonna do.
I think if they get Soto, Alonso's a Yankee. That's what I think. Because younger fans have to realize this. These teams work, like you said a minute ago, on a budget. There's overhead, there's profit, there's loss, there's all this stuff. So, like, how do you justify paying a guy Ohtani money who's not putting up Ohtani numbers?
Who's not marketable like Ohtani is, and that's the thing. Like you go to Japan, how much money Ohtani brings in with the Japanese market, and that's where that money comes from. It's not that he's worth $70 million a year. He's a fucking baseball player. Let's fucking be honest here. It's $70 million a year. Come on. Like, and you said earlier before Aaron came on, he's one of 9 guys. Like, if you could take that $46 million and get 3 $15 million players who are pretty good fucking players, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Did the Yankees make the World Series only because of Juan Soto? No. So, like, I don't know. To me, like, eventually, and it's never going to happen, no matter what sport we're talking about. Like the inmates run the asylum, no matter what. Like the players are going to say, "I want this," and if you don't like it, because somebody's always going to be dumb enough to give them whatever they want, no matter what. Does it always pan out? No, it doesn't. How many teams overspend and never win a fucking thing? Lots, more often than not. Like how much money did the Padres spend when they got Machado, and on it went, and didn't do a fucking thing. Nothing.
And half of them ain't even there anymore.
And Aaron will talk about your Phillies. Like, if the Phillies have tons of money, they sell out. They got big, deep pockets. They aren't in on the Soto sweepstakes, or are they? Maybe you know something. You're behind the scenes operations that maybe I don't know about here in Western Canada. Like, what is there? They got tons of money. Why aren't they in on them?
Oh, I don't got a penny compared to the Phillies, right? I mean, oh my God! But yeah. I don't think they. I mean, it was rumored, before this whole sweepstakes started that the Phillies would be in talks with them, but I don't think they. From what I've heard, it's just the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and I haven't even heard anybody else. I mean.
Well, I heard the Toronto rumor, same as last year.
Toronto,
he was on the fucking airplane flying across the country, going to Toronto, which is a crock of shit. And I've been into that one too. It was like, holy fuck! And then it turns out it was somebody else, whatever. But yeah,
that's the big four. And I mean, outside of that, though, I can't name a team that like I haven't heard the Astros make an offer. I haven't heard everybody says Seattle tries to go in on these big. They went on Ohtani. But like outside of those 4 teams, I don't know. I'm okay with the Phillies staying pat without Soto, but I mean, like I said, he's such a good player, but it gets to the point where everybody or everything that I've heard is the Mets are just going to outbid everybody. So no matter what the Yankees go at Soto, no matter what the Dodgers. So if he's only looking for the bottom line, which that's what it sounded like when he, the last interview he got before, the World Series was over, all that. And he said, basically, I appreciate my time here.
Pissed me off.
But he sounded like, hey, man, like, it was great playing here. It sounded like the same thing in D.C. Like, it didn't, unless, what's his name is telling him to say this stuff, Boris or whatever. But it's like, he's just a robot. He's just like, I'm about the money. I don't care about, being a Yankee. That's what it sounded like to me. I could be wrong. Maybe he loves playing for them. And he's like, you know what? $20 million. If it comes down to like $20 million to the Mets, he's like, yeah, I'd rather be in pinstripes. It's a more prestigious place to play. Like, there's all that history. So I don't know though. To me, it sounded like he only cares about the dollar bills, which I mean, that's an individual thing. Like some players want that. Some players want legacy. Some players want to play for the pinstripes, all that. So
Jim, what was your take after the World Series was done when he was asked a question, he gave an answer. What was your take with how he basically, like he said to the Yankees fans, hearts are crushed, and all of a sudden they're fucking one of their superstars said, yeah, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm good. I went to prom with this girl, and I thought I was going to get lucky, and now, well, she fucked off and went with somebody else. Fuck, guy was hot. I was so fucking mad at that guy. Read the room, you prick. Like that alone, like that day, I don't care if this motherfucker fucks off and stays fucked off forever. I didn't care. Fuck was I mad.
I didn't even watch the post game because I was so annoyed that they literally put up no fight in any of these games and decide to show up. And Aaron Judge is the captain and shows up at the end when we needed him at the beginning. I literally just took the remote, threw it, went outside, lit up a cigar, and said, well, now we just concentrate fully on the NFL. Fuck this, I'm done.
No, I could not believe what I was watching. We'll get off the Soto sweepstakes. Where do you guys think he's going?
I wouldn't be surprised if he lands with the Dodgers because he's going to defer the money. And the Dodgers have it because they're paying Soto later on when he's retired. So Dodgers will get richer, and Hal Steinbrenner is going to sit there with his left hand under his ass cheek till it gets numb, and he's going to fucking give himself a stranger in Brian Cashman's office.
Well, there is that.
I just feel like the Mets didn't really plunge last offseason like they did the year before with Scherzer and Verlander. If the Mets don't offer him the most money by far, I'll be shocked. So from everything I hear is he cares about the money more than anything. And that's the funny thing, though. I don't know how you guys feel, but it's kind of like bullshit to me when they say, oh, these guys are just trying to set their families up and shit. Like, he's going to get so much money from any form.
He already has a lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that whole notion that, like, hey, man, I got to look after my kids and my kids. Like, dude, motherfuckers, you're getting paid out the ass no matter what. So don't tell me, oh, I'm doing this to set my – no, you're just chasing as much money as you can. I can't hate on them. Like, they're in that position for a reason. But, like, don't come at the whole thing of, like, I need to take care of my, like, you're not working a 9-to-5 like job. Just let's all pump the, like, you're privileged. And like, you're a great player, but like cut the bull. Like, just don't, I hate when players say that, like
setting my family up. My dad, actually, let's go back another generation. My dad's parents came out over from Ukraine. They, like, all the kids they had, everything else, they never made fucking what Juan Soto made. And there was 12 Redlinskis. They never, so that our family did okay. If you can't live on the $32 million you've made just last year and whatever else you've made, shut up. That's a you thing.
Right. That's what I mean. The Yankees will offer him more money than any three of us have ever seen. Like, I hate that. I hate when I went with this team, they set me up. No matter who signs him, like, he could go to the freaking Arizona Diamondbacks and he's fine. Like, he's fine. He's an MLB player, but
if you weren't set up yet, get off the fucking cocaine problem you got, whatever the hell it is. Like, if you have that much of a spending problem already, like, because he's probably made $100 million, right?
Easily, yeah, I would say.
If you aren't set up by now, like, you got to take a long, hard look in the mirror, man.
And I think it would be funny to see the Mets, like, do all this, outbid the Yankees, outbid all that. And then what if they don't win anything anyway? It's like, well, you have, like, I
that's
know
just
a Soto, like a Soto, a Judge, Ohtani, right? They put asses in the seats. I get that. So, like, these owners are probably looking at that. Oh, if they're projecting out, if we get Soto, we're going to get this much more revenue because people come to watch Soto. But, like, it gets to the point where you're giving a guy like, I think Ohtani, if he can pitch, is worth more than anybody because he can do both at a crazy level. If you're giving Soto more than Ohtani, and Soto doesn't play a great right field. Like, I know he's a hell of a hitter, one of the best hitters in the game, maybe ever if he continues on this. But it's just like, if the Mets are just like throwing money out there to win, I kind of hope it backfires on them just because I don't want to see that happen. But
like, you say this like best hitter ever. We heard that about our favorite whipping boy whenever you're on the show, Aaron. Our favorite whipping boy, Mike Trout. Best ever. What's he fucking done? Nothing.
I think he's committing his fucking larceny, taking all that money and never playing a full season.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the other danger of giving somebody like Soto this type of deal. The Angels did it with Mike Trout. You can't get rid of him. So, like, if you give Soto this money and he starts going through all these injuries the way Mike Trout has, you're fucked. So there's that side of the coin that the Mets aren't thinking about, the Yankees, the Dodgers, whoever else is in play. I mean, to sit there and say the Tampa Bay Rays are in play, you don't even have a place to play right now. Yeah, and
Steinbrenner Field in front of 11,000. It's like a fucking Lethbridge Bowls game, for fuck's sakes. Like, just unbelievable.
And what's funny with that is the Lethbridge Bulls would sell out more than the friggin' Rays would at Steinbrenner Field.
It's unbelievable. Like, the thing is, I just thought of this, and this is just a podcast fucking throwing shit in the wall. Soto's been too healthy. Something's bound to go sideways because it always does. It always does. No matter what. All these guys get hurt, especially in baseball, and they're long-term deals, right? It's a long-term fucking whatever happens. He hasn't missed out. So in year 2, 3, 4, whatever it might be, like, you're paying a guy at the age of 26, $40 million. When he's 31, look out. Yeah. Look out.
Well, I mean, and not to piggyback on the Yankees, but it's like, look outside of, like, if I'm a Yankees fan, I'm sitting there like, okay, we don't sign Soto. Who's our third baseman going in the next year? Who's our first baseman going in? Like, why don't these teams, like, look at the Dodgers came in and won, obviously, but they're at every position they're almost like great. Like, I don't know why these teams, like, if the Mets go out and get Soto,
overspend on one guy, and then what?
Yeah, what are you going to win with, like, okay, you have a great guy in the center of your lineup. The Yankees had that with Judge. They didn't win. The Phillies have that with Harper. They haven't won shit. Like, it's the same thing why don't you load the whole team up? And that, like, I don't know. I just don't agree with just plunging on a guy like this if you don't have everybody else in place.
That's the thing with baseball. Like, you got a guy who fails 7 out of 10 times. Let's give him $45 million a year. I don't get it. Fails 7 out of 10 times. It doesn't make sense. Let's move on, because that's going to be, I'll be revved up. I got to go to a Christmas tree gala tonight. No fucking me swearing when I'm at this damn thing with the wife tonight. But there's issues, grievances, major concerns around the NFL with quarterbacks. Aaron, we've talked about before how these guys just fall into pools of money, and no matter what, they become starting quarterbacks. They're told that they're great when they're in high school. Then they go and play 3 years of college, play about 30 games. All of a sudden, they sign multi-million-dollar contracts, and then owners go, well, that didn't work. Oops. And when they get to the NFL, you're seeing that a lot more. Jim, we'll start with you. Is it just desperate moves because you do? You have to have a great quarterback. Actually, you don't. You have to have a serviceable quarterback at minimum to win. Minimum, serviceable. But if you have a great one, it increases your chance of winning. Do owners in general, Jim, do they just shiny new toy? We have to do it because everybody else is doing it with quarterbacks?
I think part of it is that. I mean, you look right now at the Giants, and you look at Daniel Jones, and you decide now to bench him. He was never worth the contract they gave him. It's really bad with the Giants when you're Daniel Jones and now you're the 4th string. Like, you're sitting behind squad quarterback. Like that's when you know you've fallen rock bottom, like past being like a crack addict rock bottom. Like this is that bad. Right? But then, like, ownership I understand you're going to pay the quarterback because he's the on-field general. He leads your offense. Because without him, how are the plays going to be ran? So I think the way this NFL landscape is, and you're already kind of seeing it with Sam Darnold and projected he's going to get something similar to Daniel Jones. Well, because he's having a decent year in Minnesota. Like, you can't just pay these guys off of 1 year. It's, okay, you had 1 good year. Sign the franchise tag, even though it's a big risk, and prove it to me again. And then if you do it again, okay, then we could lean on you to be the guy. Then we'll give you this big money. But until then, some of these contracts, oof. I mean, you look at the Jets right now with Aaron Rodgers. I love not for nothing. There's 2 guys here that said it 2 years ago that the Jets would not be a playoff team with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know about you, Aaron, but it feels good to be right.
I mean, his ceiling was 2012 when he won his one Super Bowl, and then he went, every single year going to the NFC Championship, going to the NFC divisional round, lose. He hasn't won since 2012, and now he's in the stacked AFC with the Chiefs, with the Bills, with the Steelers, with the Ravens. It's like, and they thought this was going to be the savior, and he's blown. And not only has he made them he's made them worse almost. I mean, I don't know how you could have been worse than Zach Wilson and Mike White and everybody else they threw in there. But it's like now you've dug yourself a hole because you let the guy, like Brent said, you let the what's it called, run the asylum, like
inmates,
the inmate. Yeah, he's blown the entire organization up. I hear all
coaches, coordinators. He almost got the fucking owner fired for fuck's sake. So like
the GM's out the door, and the GM put this team back on the map, like when they were garbage. He was in the Eagles front office, and they got him, and then they kind of found their way at least. Like they had a defense formed because of their GM. He's gone. Like this Jets team could end up being bad for the next 5, 6, 7. Like now they have no direct. They had a direction with Saleh. They got rid of him. They've gotten
older because they brought in his buddies. Like
you're jeopardizing the whole franchise. You're jeopardizing and this guy hasn't delivered for you. That's why I don't get why they're letting him control things, because it's not like he's winning that. It's not like they're 10 or 7-3 or whatever. They're 3-7 or 3-9 or whatever. Like they're shit. It's like I don't know. But like you said, Brent, I mean, everybody, all these quarterbacks got paid because it was, in my opinion, it was probably Deshaun Watson, Jim's favorite guy.
Jimmy's favorite.
Jimmy Watson, huge contract, right? And then it just, I remember Lamar getting paid. Jalen Hurts got paid. I mean, you'd go down the list. It just everybody, like Joe Burrow got paid. All these guys got paid, and now it's like
Trevor Lawrence getting paid.
Yeah, it's like Herbert got paid. Like half these guys haven't even done shit. It's like I know you have to have a good quarterback to win, and you got to do all that. But look, the Giants followed it in that trend, and look where obviously there's going to be anomalies where the you got your Mahomes and stuff, but the Giants are in a bad spot. They can get out of it, but I mean they just can't draft a quarterback. It seems like outside of Eli, I don't know. These I mean Purdy's due to get paid. I mean how much is I think unless they paid him this offseason, I can't remember now, but
they haven't paid him yet. But they're going to break the bank for him too.
And then you can't have anybody like Tua, yeah. I don't know. I'm not saying that you can outsmart the system, but I don't. What if you gave a guy 30? I guess all these guys are going to go to the negotiation table and say I'm worth this because of this guy getting this, and then it just resets every time. And that's a problem. That just because you're the next guy doesn't mean you're worth as much as Mahomes is getting paid. You haven't done as much as Mahomes.
Well, that's the problem with overinflated contracts. Because, Mahomes got one of the biggest deals, and all of a sudden, all these other guys, because they're in the same position bracket, I should get the same. Well, I should get the same. What? But are you doing what Mahomes has done? No, you're not. Because Burrow got there, didn't win. Justin Herbert has never been there. Jalen Hurts has been there. And the only thing that saves the Eagles so that they can keep replenishing is that he deferred most of that money. Okay? You look at guys like Daniel Jones. You haven't done shit since you got that deal. You look at guys like Aaron Rodgers who are getting well overpaid. You haven't delivered either. And you have one Super Bowl and you're trying to recreate this thing in Green Bay in New Jersey for what? You're still looking up at the Patriots. Brady and Belichick have been gone for years now. And you're still looking up at New England. You're a fucking shit show. You could put the blame on Joe Douglas because the year you drafted Mekhi Becton, you could have had Jalen Hurts. You went with the second pick, and you went and got the MILF Hunter Mormon and Zach Wilson. So Joe Douglas was part of the problem. But
from a fucking I'm a college guy from a shitty school. That's the thing. During the COVID year.
Kid from Alabama. Why would you not
anything?
On the big school?
Oh, fuck me.
Jane Daniels went to LSU. I don't.
But Robert Saleh was the scapegoat, but yet they were a game out of the playoffs, and the defense was 10 times better with him than it was without him. Because now look, you couldn't beat the friggin' Patriots. You couldn't even beat us, and And then you're watching ESPN and all these other shows, and they're like, yeah, the Jets could run the table and still get in the playoffs. I don't see how. How? What table are they running around? The Thanksgiving Day table?
Insider scoop here, 1420. They ain't gonna.
This is and like you said, Jim. When they thought, I mean, I don't know if it was Rodgers that said we have to fire him, but somebody, I'm sure they asked Aaron, since he runs the franchise anyway. Hey, should we get rid of Salah? Oh yeah, I'm on board with that. And then, like you said, boom, like they have sucked ever. Like they're not even competitive now. They're 5 or 6 games under 500. Why are you letting this guy run it? And when it's not working,
what happened with the Salah thing was word got to Rodgers that Robert Salah was going to demote and then have Nathaniel Hackett fired. And they were butt buddies up in Green Bay, shoving brie cheese up each other's asses. Okay. And Rodgers got word to it, and he happened to beat Robert Salah to the owner's office and said, no, get rid of Salah.
And if I'm their owner, I'm like, hey, you're going to be here for maybe one more year. You can simmer down.
And with the Joe Douglas thing, he's part of the problem. But then, he was going to bench Aaron Rodgers. He was calling for it, and the coaches go, well, we can't embarrass Aaron Rodgers like that. Your whole fucking franchise is an embarrassment. And you're worried about one guy?
You can embarrass a player. They're employees. They're just employees. That's all they are.
If the Jets do not want Aaron Rodgers in 2025, then you do just that. You bench him and humiliate him, and then go walk away.
You gotta pay him anyways. Give him his 60 sheets and say, "See you later." Whatever. These guys have the Jets are a subsidiary of the money that Johnson & Johnson makes. It's nothing. Here, take the 60 and fuck off. Get out of here. We're not going to win. We're not going to win with you. And get back the younger guys who just fall into pits of money because they're the stud in high school. And I've always found it amazing because most of these guys, they don't start as freshmen in college. So then they play 10, 11 games or if less as a sophomore, play their 10, 12 games as a junior. And then sometimes they opt out their senior year. So some of these guys have played a total of 25 fucking games since high school. And then they say 25 games. They get 25. 1/6 or 1/7 of a Major League Baseball season. And they are demanding at the draft for this much money after 25 games. And then these stupid owners say, yeah, I think I should. That's a good idea. I've seen a great big body of work. I think you're right. Caleb Williams, you're right. Yeah, you're 100%. You were great your junior year at USC, won yourself a Heisman. After that, nothing.
Yep.
It was awful his senior year.
He played himself out of having a back-to-back Heisman season.
Yeah. And then he had demands saying this, that, and everything else when he went to the draft. And then look where the Bears stink. I mean, but they ain't better because of him. So if you draft a Heisman winning quarterback, if you have a first, second, or third overall pick, that means the rest of your team stunk. So why the hell would you subject a quarterback who's played 25 games to that kind of shit? You have to improve the whole team first and then get a quarterback. 25 games gets you fucking $30 million a year? Sign me up.
The one thing I love with the Bears, you're in the same position you were, just with a different quarterback. But it was all Justin Fields' fault, right? God, I love it.
It's the same thing with Jim, with your favorite team, the Browns. How many they went through 100 quarterbacks in 15 years. It was some crazy stat, 85 quarterbacks in 10 years. It was just what? How? And none of them worked. And I guarantee some of them would have worked in San Francisco, where they have a good coaching staff. They only look at the quarterback. This quarterback, that quarterback, this quarterback. It's just
we'll get better. We'll get better. No, you won't.
Yeah, one of these guys. And if the whole team's a mess, especially in the NFL, because it's just faster, bigger, stronger. You're seeing it. Kenny Pickett struggled with the Steelers. They bring in the veteran, Russell Wilson. It looks different. It looks like he has he knows how to play at the pro level. They're throwing these kids in there on so many teams, like Bryce Young. How are you supposed to figure it out when your team sucks? it's just, I don't know. It's
well, that's like Caleb Williams. I said it the other day. You're throwing this kid into a no-win situation because you're looking at him as the one guy to turn this team around. Yeah, you put weapons around him, but you didn't put weapons he actually needed. Like, where's the offensive line to protect him? This fucking kid's running for his life like he's being chased down a freaking dark alley in Manhattan somewhere. Or he's running down an alleyway in the Bronx from somebody trying to shiv him for his
I've been in
freaking
the alley in the Bronx. It's pretty scary. Yeah, fucking crazy. But no, I'll never get it. Like, and the thing is then you draft a kid, and then he gets the tar kicked out of him this first season. Then his confidence is gone because you lose that 6 inch for 10 years. You're fucked. You're fucked. You ain't getting that back. Like, and Russell Wilson, he's won a little bit. He's had a very, very good career. Borderline, I hate to say it, Hall of Fame kind of a guy. And then he's got a chance to win something this year in confidence, right? Like, he understands the game. He can slow things down. Because the college game, Aaron, we said last time you were on the show, the college game to the pro game is so much different because the college games is built on mistakes, and that's the excitement that happens. So there's so many guys fuck up, and so the elite athletes can benefit from the mistakes that happen. The pro game, these guys don't make mistakes. They're programmed. They do this. They do it well, and they're men. They're not high school kids. They're not just college kids. They're men who this is their job. It's their full-time job to make sure that they make a quarterback's life hell. And when they give these guys, these 20, 25-year-old, 23-year-old kids money and it doesn't work, why is it a surprise? Like, I don't understand why it's a surprise to all these talking heads on the networks that go, well, I thought he was going to be great. I'll call Brent. I'll tell you, he's going to be shitty. He's going to be shitty. He's going to be shitty because his team last year before he was there was shitty. It's just how it works.
And look at like what Bo Nix is doing with the Broncos. Like, they have a good coaching staff. He can go get thrown into something like that where, like, the Bears, everybody says how their coach doesn't know what he's doing. Like Jim said, if you don't have an O-line, don't even subject any of these guys because, like you said, Brent. I mean, the like Trevor Lawrence, right? He's a guy that never lost, basically. I think he lost like one game in his life or something.
Yeah.
And it was in high school. Like, he didn't lose any games at Clemson. And, like, they have an experience. And I'm not saying to never give them adversity, but you're throwing them into, like, a shitstorm of a situation with Urban Meyer, and the team sucks. And it's like, how do you think that one guy that's never played NFL football is going to make the whole team elevate when the whole team sucked before he got in there? It's like, it's very rare you'll ever see that. Like, maybe 1 out of 50 that actually happen. And then is it sustainable? Like, like Mahomes, maybe Mahomes is a flash in the pan. I mean, he's panned out, but, like, I don't know. Like you said, they just want to throw these guys in there and be like, oh, it's going to work. Like, I like how the Packers do things where they make them sit for a couple of years. Like, I don't know why more teams don't do. I'm sure there's other teams. I know that comes to my mind because Aaron Rodgers sat Favre, before Favre. Then Jordan Love sits before Rodgers. Like, why not? Like, Carolina,
learn how to be a pro.
Why are you? Yeah,
Well, you see it right now in Atlanta. Michael Penix Jr. sitting behind Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
Jade Daniels got thrown into a situation. And that's the other thing. These kids get drafted to these teams. Is it the right situation? Is it the right coaching staff? Is it the right culture? Like in Chicago, it's literally ran like, where's fucking Waldo? Because nobody knows what they're doing. You don't know what the coach is doing. The GM don't have a clue what he's doing. Ownership don't know what they're doing. Like, ownership has not a clue to what's going on. And then your answer is, well, we'll fire the offensive coordinator. Okay,
so you got to start over again.
But you have more problems than that. So, okay, then when you keep doing this and you go through a coaching carousel, whether it's the head coach, coordinator, whatever it is, how are these kids supposed to learn a system if it's a revolving door of coaches? They're never going to learn. Like, if Daniel Jones was able to learn under one coach and one coordinator, things might be different with Daniel Jones, but it's not. You look at a guy like Bo Nix. I didn't think he would pan out too much in Denver, but he's making a lot of people eat their words. But it didn't happen right away. It's progressed. So it's also a matter of the culture and the system you're in for these kids to actually succeed. Like, Patrick Mahomes was in a good situation because he got to sit behind Alex Smith. Like, you don't have
He was a very good quarterback. right?
But
Even just for a year, whatever.
But you don't have that anymore in this league because every quarterback is younger than me. So how are these young kids supposed to learn a pro-style offense when you have somebody damn near your age who's already been in the league for 3-4 years? You need a veteran like a Kirk Cousins. You know, you could even sit behind Mahomes now for 3 years if you wanted to.
And that might be something that Kansas City probably, to match talent levels, you're probably not going to get that because Mahomes is so good. But it wouldn't, and you're not going to, so if you draft a kid that's pretty good and is athletic, the chance of him turning into Mahomes are probably slim to none. And I think none's winning, right? So you just think that, okay, why don't we draft a kid that's like a late rounder, second round guy, and then he can apprentice under Mahomes. That's probably one of the smartest things I've heard you say, Jim, because like, why not think 4 years down the road instead of next year and then putting a fucking Band-Aid on a gunshot wound to the head? Like
the Steelers did that for years. The Steelers did that because, I mean, look what happened. After Roethlisberger retired, it was a carousel. You draft Kenny Pickett. You bring in Russell Wilson to help Kenny Pickett progress. Kenny took it another way, and now look, he's washing Jalen Hurts' fucking jockstrap. He's doing nothing in Philly now. So
that kind of went nowhere, hey, old Kenny.
Like some of these guys, you got to learn if you're bringing in a veteran presence, it's not to say, hey, we don't believe in you. It's, hey, this guy's coming in, and he's going to help you progress. So when it's your time, we're not just throwing you back out there to be led to slaughter. It's just a different era of football from when you and me, Brent, were growing up, because you've seen guys get drafted, like Aaron Rodgers gets drafted. He sits behind Favre for 3-4 years. What did they do when they knew Rodgers' time was coming to an end in Green Bay? They found his replacement. Pittsburgh never did that with Roethlisberger because I guess they always hoped, we'll just keep throwing Band-Aids and shit on him and he'll play till he's 90. Well, no, you can't do that. You can never do that with Tom Brady because that guy was a friggin' anomaly, besides getting protected by the NFL officials. But regardless of that, you never had to have a guy sit behind him. And any guy who sat behind him went somewhere else and they shit the bed there. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Where's he now?
Jimmy Garoppolo is, I don't know. I think he's probably banging another porn star.
Oh, good for him. Good to have.
Yes.
Could be worse.
Yeah.
Might as well get a pro to do it. Why not? Why wouldn't you? I have a hard time, and you see these, and it's disheartening for fan base. They think, okay, this is our guy, and then it doesn't work. And this is our guy, and it doesn't work. Like, yeah, you feel bad for Garrett when there's our guy. It's not working. It's just not. Like, it's just Lawrence just says he's just not. Like, it's just not going to work.
I don't think it's that Lawrence is the issue, and I'm not saying this just because me and him do a show. Lawrence is very capable of leading an NFL offense. Here's the problem. You stuck him with Urban Meyer, and then you brought in Doug Peterson, whose system is so easy to scout and predict, and it just doesn't work in Jacksonville. Their offensive coordinator has to be cousins with Matt Canada somehow because he doesn't allow anyone to have any say in anything. And you can't always just blame the quarterback for bad.
Yeah, you can. They make the most money. It's their fault.
But
not wrong, but
no. Well, they do have to throw the part of the blame because they gotta make sure the play that's called actually works out to the way it's supposed to work out. But some of these coordinators, I mean, when you call it, like if you're at 3rd and goal, Matt Canada, and you call for a fucking Hail Mary, I mean, like, how do you want the quarterback to succeed when your coaching staff isn't helping you? So it kind of goes hand in hand. They all have to shoulder the blame somehow. But look at Dallas. How much longer are you going to stick with?
Oh, fuck. If that ain't the biggest fucking mess in professional sports, I don't know what is. Like, honestly.
That's the thing, too. Go ahead, Jim.
Jerry Jones is the Vince McMahon of the NFL. He's loose. He's out of his fucking mind.
That's the thing, too, though. Like you said, Jim, like, I mean, if you put I always play that game. Like if you put like Trevor Lawrence on the 49ers, like he might look fucking unstoppable. That's like if you go to a bad situation, and like I remember Doug Peterson in Philly, like they had that wild ride to the Super Bowl. But outside of that, like that Press Taylor guy they use as like a offensive, I don't even know what he is, but he's like an offensive
He's the
assistant. He sucks. Like and the Eagles were gonna bring Doug Peterson back if they said to Doug, you know, you don't bring Press Taylor back, you can come back. And he's like, no, that's my guy. I don't know what it is. Maybe Press Taylor has like dirt on his wife or something, like some shit behind the scenes. But like wherever Doug Peterson goes, that guy comes with him, Press Taylor, and they run the most stale offense you've ever seen. It's like 4 different plays, and they all look the same variation of one play. But like if you put like Caleb Williams on the 49, like I'm not trying to take anything away from Purdy. He's been really
Aaron,
good.
it's starting to sound like you're turning into a 49ers fan a little bit.
Oh, I hate him. I
know you do, but just the way you're like, oh, put them on the Niners, Like, fuck, put me in the Niners. All right, let's go win some games.
Well, when you have like they built the team the right way. I mean, they gave Purdy everything he needed to succeed. So if he wouldn't have succeeded, it's like you're definitely the problem. So it's I don't know. I mean, obviously Trey Lance didn't work out there, but it's one of those deals where it's just like you go to a great situation, you can flourish like in the NFL in your early career years. If you go to a bad situation like Detroit, 8 years ago, I don't think if you put Brock Purdy on that team, he'd be forgotten about by now. Like he'd be out of the league probably. So it really like coaching more than anything in the NFL is huge to me.
So that goes back to what I'm saying. Do you have to pay these fucking guys this much money? Because if you get a system that works with a serviceable guy, you have a better chance of winning than overpaying a guy that has no business making that much money. Because if the system works, you could put insert Aaron, insert Jim, I'm 50, so I'm not as much as me, but like, do you need to pay these guys? Do you? And point number 2, I'll make, and then we'll get off it because I got to go and burn Christmas trees or something. But if you don't pay, like if you don't pay these guys, you have more money to spend elsewhere. I don't know. I just think overpaying quarterbacks. I think it's a huge mistake because none of these guys, not one of these guys that we mentioned, none of them are better than the guy who's winning Super Bowls nonstop. None of them. So what's the point?
It's almost like
if you improve the rest of the team,
effect.
What's that, Jim?
It's like overpaying for Juan Soto, but just in the NFL. So if you overpay this quarterback, but you had other needs, but now you don't have the money because in the NFL you're cap restricted. So if you don't have enough to fill these other voids because you overpaid this guy, well, you better hope this guy is going to make it work, because if it doesn't, your fan base is going to come at you and be like, you overpaid for fucking Dak Prescott, and you overpaid for this guy, and you overpaid for that guy, and Deshaun, you overpaid. Well, everybody knows that Cleveland overpaid fucking rapist, but whatever. But it's
1 hour and 2 minutes. There we go.
It's the same thing from baseball to the NFL. If you have serviceable players, you don't have to overpay at one position, because you could take that money and sprinkle it to all the other positions. It's the same comparison, and yet in the NFL, it's just a different landscape in the NFL. It's like quarterbacks get paid the most, your wide receivers get paid the second most, and your running backs get forgotten about. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I just find it odd that like you're whoever is chasing the Chiefs, because they lost last week and another close game. Obviously, I think Buffalo's right there, but Buffalo will Buffalo. But like the Mets are going to Mets. It's just the way it's going to work out, right? And I think the Lions are right there. I think the Eagles are right there. I think obviously the Steelers are right there. But at the end of the day, when push comes to shove in the first week of February, it's going to come down to one guy. And if one guy has a day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, am I wrong? Like, you guys watch a lot more NFL than I do, but I'm just thinking I think if Mahomes has a day, well, then you're fucked.
Yeah, especially with the right officials.
Not wrong.
Well, there is that. Yeah. Conspiracy there, like it has looked pretty bad. Like there's been, like I heard you guys on Cigar and Sports tonight where you got caught mouthing things to the line judge there. It's like, that's a bad look. Yeah.
back to the quarterback thing, Jim's team is doing. I mean, if they can find a way to even like get to the Super Bowl because they're not paying Russell Wilson like anything, that would just be like that would show. Hey, if you, I mean, obviously not every situation is gonna pan out like that. Like if Sam Darnold was on the Steelers, I don't think they'd be as good as with Russell Wilson. Like you have to get the right guy in there. But like the Broncos are paying him basically, like Moneyball when they're paying the Yankees are paying Justice to play for the A's,
not play for you.
Yeah, that's what the Broncos are doing, and like he's flourishing in Pittsburgh. Like it's crazy. Like that's a situation where it's just like that might have been what they needed. I'm not saying long term. Like, I don't know how much longer he'll be there, but like right now, I mean they're winning their division. They beat the Ravens. It's like shit. Mm-hmm. I mean that's something to be said for that.
I can make a prediction right now. I have a feeling that they're going to pay Russell Wilson for 3 more years.
Is that
they'll go downhill. Mark my words.
And they'll overpay him.
Everyone does.
One more because he's not falling off. Like he's not. But is it one more year and then he falls like completely down? Or
he ain't young.
Yeah.
What year did the Seahawks win? What year was that? It's so long ago, can't remember.
Yeah.
I won that second one, but I mean that's shoulda, coulda, woulda, but that was
hand the ball off.
Like getting your fucking McDonald's getting handed through the fucking drive-through window and they throw it fucking out the other side. Like what the fuck happened there? Jesus Christ! I just have this. I'd be on my way. Now I gotta go pick it up and fuck, what a mess. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's just I just think overpaying these guys. It just it turns out bad because at the end of the day. You have one guy who's like a lot better than most, right? Like you have some like 10, like if Mahomes at 10, you could say Josh Allen's a 9, and you have a bunch of other guys there, but like Lamar Jackson's really good. He's about a 9 as well. But if this guy's is still better than everybody else, what are you doing? And then if you can spread the money out and get a defense to stop this guy, one game you got something 1 game a year or 2 to get to win a championship and they get Super Bowl. And that's what you have to do. And to blow your load on a 22-year-old kid, like Jesus, I don't understand it. And or like in Dallas world to blow your load on a fucking 34-year-old, whatever the fuck Dak Prescott is, like we'll have to talk about that another time. That's got to be the biggest mess in sports history, honestly, because you think about what they haven't accomplished in 30 years. America's team.
There's a reason.
30 years.
There's a reason why they have 1 star on that helmet. Because it ain't a logo.
Yeah, it's a rating, not a logo. Yeah,
time is come and gone. They're 90s. They ran the 90s, but
that's 30 years ago, though, man. That's 30 years since they've been relevant, like actually relevant.
Yeah.
And they get all the play. They're Monday Night Football this week and get blown out. Like, ugh. Unbelievable. Boys, I got to get out of here. I got to go to a gala. Man of the people that I am here in Lethbridge, Alberta, one of those things, and go and shake babies and kiss hands and stuff like that, and put on my Sunday smile and everything else.
I don't think we want to shake babies, but
shake hands, kiss. Is it kiss baby? I don't know.
Kiss babies.
You haven't heard these fucking babies crying this fucking thing every year. Jesus Christ, but one of those things. No, it was a lot of fun. It's been good getting to talk to you guys again. We don't do it nearly enough. We'll have to make it a regular thing once a month, whatever it's going to be. How's things, though? Like, honestly, how's things? Jim, start with you.
I mean, I can't complain. I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
I get to smoke cigars all day and zone out to fucking watching King of Queens for the millionth time.
Can't hate on that.
No, I like King of Queens.
Yeah.
I'm more of I like Seinfeld a bit more than King of Queens, but fuck, I love Seinfeld. I've seen every one 100 times. I still watch it every time, no matter what.
Yeah. Fuck, can't go wrong with the classics.
There you go. Aaron, how are you doing?
Good, just busy, but yeah, I mean, other than that, just one day at a time, right? There
you go, one day at a time. Maybe we'll do a Christmas special coming up here. Actually, you know what we should do? My wife's going to Taylor Swift in 2 weeks. I'm gonna be batching it down here by myself for a week, and there'll be beer cans all over the fucking place. Man, we'll do something a little Brent circa 25 years ago, kind of one of those things. Have a few laughs. When she's away, Brent is going to play. There's no getting around that. Not anything bad. Nothing bad, but I might get down a little bit. Like it was, I'll fall asleep by 8 o'clock. Who am I kidding? Anyways, boys, where can we hear? Jim, you're a bit busy. Actually, both you guys are putting out stuff nonstop. What's going on? Where can we hear your stuff? Aaron, go ahead.
I'm just I kind of my co-host guy, teaming up with dude out of Wisconsin. We just do a show. It's called Wisconsin Sports on the Go, but we talk about a lot of other sports. So not just that area in specific. So just on there. I mean, I've once in a while I'll throw up an episode on my own, or on TikTok. I'm trying to get to Jim's level. Shit, I mean, he can go live. I can't.
Jim gets banned out.
He's the TikTok guy. So, but yeah, it's really on sports. That's any podcast platform.
Anywhere it is. Jimmy.
TikTok, Twitter.
I thought you said Tinder. It's like, well, probably, yeah, whatever. Is that still a thing? I don't even know. Like, I've never, yeah.
It is, but you won't see me on any dating website. I'm just going to stay single.
You learned your lesson.
I'm just going to stay single forever, and I'm just single, ready to mingle, in and out like Spider-Man. I just want to get in.
Get it in, get it out. That won't mess your hairdo. There it is. Yeah.
The audio is pretty much anywhere you can stream podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Pods, whatever platforms are left because Google Podcasts shut down.
I saw that.
Yeah, a lot of them are shutting down now, or they're all merging into one huge, like, mega podcasting, like they're the fucking Power Rangers, separate Megazords turning into one Megazord.
Yeah, it's odd. Things have changed in the 4 years since we've been doing this, Jimmy. Fuck, things have changed. We're getting old.
Yeah, I'll be 43 soon.
I remember that. Those were a long time ago. Like I'm 50. Fuck me, Jesus Christ. Anyways, boys, thanks very much for coming on. We'll do it again very soon. It's always a blast mingling with you guys and having some laughs. And we'll do it again before Christmas for sure. Anyways, 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Keep your stick on the ice. And what else, Aaron? You know this one.
Don't swing the high pitches. Soto.
There you go, Soto. He's going to swing at a high pitch, going to swing and miss, blow out his Achilles, and fucking the plane for the fucking Mariners. Fuck him. Whatever. Have a good night, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Yeah.